Hold on tight for the next hour. You're entering into a place, a zone called the alternative to the alternative media. It's a place, a special place where even truth seekers fear to tread.
All right, people, let's move like we've got a purpose.
Affirmative.
Okay, glad you're back on the Investigative Journal on this Friday, October 27th, 2016 day on our calendar, and I'm really glad you're back. Why am I glad you're back? You know, people start radio shows like that, like, oh, so happy that you came. I can't wait to get started. But what really do they mean? They mean, oh no, another show to do. My goodness, what am I going to talk about today? What lies can I spread today? Says the mainstream media. What do I have to do to keep the people placated, say much of the alternative media? What do I have to do today to keep my $1 million paycheck coming? Oh my God, what a life I lead. All I do is move my gums for a living, and I get paid millions of dollars just for spreading the Jesuit order's lies. That's what they're saying in their head, while they spew out all this nonsense. And I'm going to spew out a little bit of nonsense myself today. And do you ever wonder what North Korea's actual capabilities are and what you need to do to prepare? Now, I ask you, after I read you some of this stuff coming from the Korean Central News Agency, or can we say Jesuit Center in North Korea, how does a little rogue state like that, who doesn't have electricity throughout the whole country except for in the capital city, get all this money for all these weapons? Unless the West helps them. And the money's coming from all over, like China, Russia, America, Canada, wherever. And who funnels it? They're probably money laundered through the Vatican. Partially. And they got other money laundering operations, you know. They ought to just open up like money laundromats. You know, why mess around now with these Caribbean banks or having to flow the money all the way to the Vatican? It's too difficult. We know you do it. So why don't you open up a corner money laundering shop, just, you know, like they open up laundromats. That way, your people, all they have to do is go in there, put the money in a little, slot, and it gets funneled right to where you want it to go. And I could see it now. Money laundering, John's money laundering shop. You go in there and you got a slot for, I want my money to go to Al-Qaeda. I want my money to go to ISIS. I want my money to go to Hezbollah. I want my money to go to North Korea. I want my money to go to China. And then I get a return. Then you see the return they get. They funnel their money launder it through there, and then they get a return. They get a little slip. I am sending you $5 billion for weapons that you just recently purchased. Okay? Or I'm sending you a order for the money you'll have to pay me back. So one guy's sending the money that's buying the weapons and money laundering it, then another guy's got to receive it. So you got all these little money laundering. Open them up. Put them on every street corner. Make it easy. I mean, we know you do it. And, I want to run one. I'll get a 10%. Listen, I'll do it cheap. I'll do it for 3%. How's that sound? And I'll open up the first money laundering shop in the history of our country. What a business opportunity. I'm starting another contest today. I'm most famous for running contests that nobody signs up for. That's right. My iPet Go 2? I only had 2 contestants. And now I got to bring them on the radio show because they are technically the winners. I don't mind doing that. And one of the winners contacted me again today after I mentioned it yesterday that I forgot, and I got to contact him again. So he'll be on shortly. I mean, let's just, prolong it longer, Greg. Can't you? Well, to the listener who's going to be on, I'm getting old. Sometimes I forget. Nice try. Nice excuse. But here's the deal. I'm starting another contest. Now, it just gave me an idea. I used to basically come up with new ideas for businesses that were bound to fail. Okay? I've got into more businesses that fail than anybody that you know. That's how I start my life. I go, what can I do today? What business can I start today that will fail within 3 months so I can do something else? Well, I'm not going to ask you to come up with the most famous or business or the business that could fail the most. Now, one of my ideas that I never put into place that I think would work would be have a tour company that would go around, call it Lucifer's Tour Company, and all we do is go around looking at signs of Lucifer and the Vatican and the New World Order all over the country. We go to Washington, D.C., then we go to all the state capitals, we go through all the obelisks and all of the Luciferian and satanic symbols that the Illuminati, the Vatican-led Illuminati, is putting out there for us. That would be my tour company. And I mentioned that before. And then, of course, my good friend Slats Grobnik had the greatest idea. He's still building it. He's building the Roman Colosseum in a Kansas cornfield. Build it and they will come. And his idea is put the Illuminati in there as gladiators, and we all come and we pay a little price, not much. Hell, the World Series tickets are going like it's, if you want to buy a World Series ticket on not the black market, but people buy them, then they sell them. You want to get one in Dodger Stadium right on the dugout, it's going to cost you $25,000. And they estimated if you want to go in the nosebleed seats, a family of 4 was going to spend upwards of $3,000 to go to a World Series game. No, thank you. Baseball's no longer for the average man. Who can afford that? I'll sit there and watch it on my big screen TV that I don't have anymore. Now I'm relegated to just turning on my phone, and they got this app that shows me a fake baseball player, and it gives me what he did, strike 1, strike 2, base hit, runs, all this, and I watch every game like that. I use my imagination. So, you think we're not going to start a contest on the best or the worst business. That would be too boring. But I was just thinking, oh yeah, Slats Grobnik first. Yeah, he's building that Coliseum there, and a great idea. We charge $5 a head, 100,000 fit in there. He's about halfway through. He's again came out about 2 months ago to talk to me, and now he's hidden again. This guy's paranoid as hell. He thinks everybody's after him. And he's got this Coliseum hidden in a corn. I don't know how he does it. He's got it hidden in a cornfield. It's kind of like it's all tarped over, and a sign on the top says, "Don't look in." So nobody looks in. Okay. So, what is my contest going to be like? Now, listen, I am going to charge an entry fee. But you know what I'm going to do just because it's the Christmas season coming up? I'm going to change the entry fee to only $20. Yeah, it used to be $25 to enter any one of my contests. I'm lowering it to $20 just for the Christmas season. And we're going to start it today. And I'll put up we'll start it today with my verbal opening. And then tomorrow I will put up on my website at greganthonysjournal.com the official start. So you can send it in tonight if you want. And this is a good one. This is going to take a little bit of thinking on your part. And also a little bit of contribution, $20. I've lowered the price. And that's to keep the radio show going. And if you like, you can do a subscription. Every $20 a month, that would be fine. But the first $20 will go towards the contest. And then if you win, you get a radio show. And now, the guy that just won the last contest is going, oh, is he really going to do that? He hasn't got me on. Don't worry, I'll get him on. I'm good for my word, even though I forget a lot as I get older, so you can't hold that against me. Or yes, you can. But here's the contest. I know you're waiting with extremely bated breath. Can't wait to hear what I've come up with. Well, this is I've been talking about this for years. And I never put it into contest form. And, why not have a little fun if we're like the lone wolves out there telling the truth about the Vatican? Why don't we have a little fun with it? Now, what is the one thing that the Vatican and the Jesuits are good at? Outside of killing people. What are they good at? They're good at creating new religions. Yes. From the beginning of time, that's all they've been doing. They have in fact, I got secret information that they have a special group of Jesuit priests who are trained, and they sit in isolation. They're kind of like monastic thinkers, and their whole job is, to come up with new religions. Yes, new religions. Just like, Mattel and all these companies have think tanks, new games. What are we going to come up with? New water sports. They come up with everything. Remember when there were no X Games? Somebody had to come up with that idea. So the Jesuits have this little think tank room hidden away somewhere between that tunnel and the Washington, D.C. and Georgetown University. Has a secret tunnel between the two buildings. And there's a room down there. We already know the room where the big shots talk. We've had interviews from there. But this is the room where the think tank Jesuits think up religions. They're busy working today. I want to outdo them. Maybe you can outdo them. You, as a loyal listener of the Investigative Journal for years, can outdo the Jesuits in creating religions. Now, we know their past. They created Catholicism, right? That's a huge religion. They were successful at it. They got 1 billion followers on all of these fake apparitions. They decided that they wanted to make a man Jesus Christ. I mean, these guys go overboard. They got flying everything, angels. They got Mary coming down from, sitting in trees. These guys used their heads in creating these religions, and they didn't stop there. And I probably don't even know all of them that they created. But we know the base. Then they went on to Islam. Now, that was a gem when they created Islam. Now, they did a hell of a job with that religion. Warriors with swords running around. And you know the whole story on Islam, so that's another one they chalked up. And then they went on to a number of others. Oh, and I'm going to get some flack. But Mormonism, that was a good one they came up with. What else? Oh, you guys think about it. What other religions would they have come up with? Well, there's many we don't even know about. But those are the main three. And there's a few others, I'm sure, if we really started looking deeply. Now, I'm not going to say they created Seventh-day Adventism, but that's a possibility. There's also a possibility, this is going to tick off some people, but they created what? Scientology. Yes. They also maybe created the New Age movement. We know that for a fact. The New Age movement. And all of these crazy religions that follow from that. Father Pierre de Chardin was behind that one. So now the Jesuits are busy thinking of new ones. They got their one world religion. They're working on that one. What are we going to do? How are we going to bring this one in? Who's got to go down? Who's got to fall? God's going to come. How are we going to how are they going to come down from the sky? How are we going to fool the masses? We got so much technology now. So, here we go. My new contest. $20 entry fee. And all I'm going to ask, I'm not going to ask you to write a thesis about your religion. I want a succinct outline. The name of the religion, what are its basic tenets, how are you going to manipulate the people to believe in you, and then I will decide who wins. And it's going to only cost you $20 to enter. Now, if things go the way they always do with my contest, maximum 2 people will enter and you'll win. Then you can come on the radio show. But I'm starting can you come up with the most famous, the most glorious, the most humble, the most ridiculous, the most insane, the most obvious religion that's going to take millions of people and you'll be the leader and everyone will follow you. Look at how important you'll become. And that's your job. And through that, people are going, well, am I going to lose my soul for this if I'm a Christian or if I'm a Hindu or if I'm a Buddhist? Am I going to lose something? No, you're not going to lose anything. It's a game. Can't we play a game? Oh, then I'm going to hear people go, what about the Ouija board? I was never afraid of those things. I could, bring me 20 Ouija boards. I'll play any of them. I'll screw around with the occult. Hell yeah. They don't scare me. It's all a bunch of, they get into I'm not going to go in there with their dark chambers. They'll probably end up killing you. But I'm just joking around with it. But you can't be afraid of these people. No. In fact, you got to have fun with them. And every time I meet an occultist, I go up and say, oh, hey, I hear you're a great occultist. I'm really curious. Why do you wear all this black clothes and put all that red lipstick on? And what is this with these long fingernails? I mean, come on, tell me some of your secrets. I want to know where your secret meetings are, and I'm going to follow you till I get to one. Yes, they're not going to be secret anymore. Ha ha ha. So, have fun with them. You know who the occult are. Next time you meet one of your state representatives who's really high up in the food chain, just go, hey, I know you're a member of the occult and I really admire it. I want to know how you get into it. I want to join and I want to follow you. Yes, that's how you get to learn the secrets. Then you can take it back and then warn your fellow man never to do it. So, if you're courageous, if you're smart, if you have an idea that you've always, you always sit there and criticize the Jesuits. You always make it look like, these crazy people. Well, try to outdo them and make a religion. They're thinking right now of it, a couple new ones, I know it. And why let them corner the market? That's why I decided to open up my money laundering shop and take 3%. Why not? They do it all over the place. Let's just put it right out there. And maybe we can get some people to invest in it. I mean, everybody's talking about the end times, right? Well, if you want to step them up, get into one of my money laundering shops or whoever's going to open up the national chain and put some of your hard-earned money and let it go over to Korea so they can build more nukes and get this war over with. That's right. Everybody's telling me the end times are coming tomorrow, the next day. All right, let's help it out. Let's move it if they're coming. Yep. I think that money laundering shop will work. Well, back to the Create a Religion contest. I got to think of a cute name, but that's basically it. $20 to enter, and it's all tax deductible. No, it's not. I don't have any organization. I can't tax deduct in any way. Income taxes are illegal. So, you don't have to worry about income tax. It's unconstitutional, illegal. Send $20. Keep the show on the air. Don't let me down this time. I'm getting this feeling like every time I throw my party, no one shows. Pretty soon I'm not going to be able to throw any parties anymore, right? And what fun is that going to be? You're not going to have anybody leading the way towards the Jesuit order and what they're really all about. Now, wouldn't you miss that? And the fun that sometimes we have on this show that others don't? The others take it so seriously. Oh, there was a time I did too. I was angry as hell for years, and then finally I realized anger is not the way, Greg. Anger is the way to destroy yourself and have a heart attack and then die young. And that's what they want. So I said, no, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to laugh along with them. And in the process, get the truth out to people. And what a great way it is. So my reasoning for starting a religion is we can have fun making fun of the Jesuits who do this. And they do it for real. We're just doing it for a fun game. But, I bet you somebody will come up with a grand religion. And I don't want too many copycats. You can't copy Islam. You can't copy the other ones they created. You got to come up with something completely new, ingenious, something that's going to lead all the masses behind you as if you were the false Messiah. And then, maybe, you know what? Here's what I'm thinking. Now, call me crazy. But what happens if the person that sends it into my show actually has a great idea? Not for us truth seekers who think it's really stupid to do that. But what about if they're contacted by the Jesuits? Now, you put a copyright on it. And the Jesuits go, something, and their head of their religious creation department will come up and say, well, I've heard that idea you had on the investigative journal, that crazy guy that talks so stupidly about us. But, we think it's a great idea. We'd like to work on it a little bit, and we'd like to purchase it from you. Yes, the rights, complete rights to your new religion. So that we have the knowledge, we have the ability, we have the manpower, we have the strength, the finances to get this religion off the ground. You don't have that. Do you? No. So for a good fee, I bet you they come up with 6 figures, maybe 7. You know, because if you could take $1 million investment, let's say they give you $1 million and they turn it into a jam-packed religion like Catholicism, how much is Catholicism worth today? Wow. That would be a good deal for them. $1 million paid to you who comes up with the religion, and then they make billions off of it. So, you may want to, negotiate a bit. Hey, I got a law degree. I can help negotiate. We can negotiate. You get a 5% interest in the religion for the next, in perpetuity, forever, to your family, to the whole thing, without any stipulations that you agree to any of its tenets. And you do not sell your soul to the devil, and you still retain whatever religion that you have today, or whatever belief that you have, you keep it. You are not signing over your belief rights. You're signing over only your creativity rights for a fee. And we could probably negotiate a little bit better than 5%. Of course, I have a fee that I would structure into it, of course, for all the legal work that I would do. And when you'd have to go up against these Jesuit lawyers, that would be a big job for me. So I'm going to make a pretty good penny on that one. So that's my real reason for starting the contest. All right. Now, how many of you are listening right now are going to join? Just close your eyes and tell the truth. It's only $20. And the reason I put a fee on it is that I got to read these crazy religious things. And I'm afraid that I may fall captive to one. And so I at least want to be financially remunerated. Anyway, really, it's just the way I play my games. That's the way I do it. I play them for real, I'm not just going to go, hey, you can just send this in. No, this is serious business. 'Cause someday the Jesuits may want to buy your religion. You never know. If you could think of one better than what they're thinking of today, maybe it'll work. And I know that there are a lot of smart people that listen to my show that know a lot about spirituality, a lot about Christendom, a lot about a lot of things in the spiritual world, and you guys are probably more able to come up with something really good than the Jesuits. And have some fun at it. Think about this. When you're creating this new religion, you're going to find a lot of little things that are going to be posed to the Bible and everything, if you're a Christian. If you're a Hindu trying it, you're going to find a lot of things that may stir you up. And then you're going to start understanding why the Jesuits do it. And you see, you're going to learn from the inside out, not from the outside in. You just may be that lucky winner on this show, and you just may be that lucky winner where the Jesuits come calling with a lot of money in their pocket, because they got it, folks. And they want to spend it on ideas that screw mankind over. And you just may come up with that idea. Now, some serious guy in the background's going, I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt anyone. Oh, come on. Something, we're far gone from that. Everybody's hurting everybody in this world today. So what's one more religion? It's just what we need, right? Just one more goodie. But I'm tired of their ideas. I want new, fresh ideas for religions, and I know this is the audience that can do it. And now, to get on to more serious things, we've got a show to do, but I only got 30 seconds on this side of the break. Something, if I continue this, I can waste this whole Friday without talking about anything serious. And maybe that's what I'll do, if you'll indulge me. And if you want to come back. And I know as soon as I get off the air for this short break, you're going to be thinking, is that $20 worth it? Can I come up with a religion? Sure you can. Come on. Think big. Don't think you're going to hit a singles. Think you're going to hit a home run. That's when every time I went to bat as a kid, that's what I said. I'm going to hit a home run. That's the mindset you got to have when you create this religion. Make it a home run. And the Jesuits just may calling with $1 million in their pocket. Back in 3 minutes on the Investigative Journal.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on internet. or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. Then, when you subscribe, we will send you the last quarterly MP3 CD of that program immediately, and continue to do so with each new quarter. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe, so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn, the Jewish people are eager. Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Eugene. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the Scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a re-established Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
The following program is labeled dangerous and off limits by the supreme Jesuit command. But stand tall, people. Listen up, and you may just learn something.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus, this ain't happening, man. This can't be happening, man. This isn't happening.
Okay, we're back for the second half hour, and I brought the puppies in because I needed some company here and a little bit of entertainment, because I know they will start barking and yapping. Now they're running out. They'll come back and forth. So maybe we'll get some entertainment from the dog world. But anyway, to show you that I really am forgetful. Remember I was saying I was forgetful. I forgot to bring on the guy who won the iPad Go 2 contest. Well, remember I started out the show and I said, here is the North Korea's actual capabilities, and what are they? I completely forgot about it. So I looked at it at the break and said, wow, that's what you opened the show and you never got to it. So we will get to that in a minute, if I don't forget. But I'm still working out the technical things on this great religious, Create a Great Religion contest. And I'm thinking about whether, if I get more than 2 people, I'll actually pick the top 2 or 3 religions, and then we'll have a vote to see who wins. Isn't that kind of interesting? The dogs think so. I'll even let dogs do it. Yes, I will. You can have your dog count as one, too. You just read him the religion, and if he barks a lot, then read him the second one. Who he barks loudest, that's his vote, goes there. They're just showing you how to, my dogs are just showing you how to do it here. And they're right under my feet, under the desk, killing each other now. 2 puppies, 2 sisters, you know. And they really get at it. These little dogs are quick. I've always had big dogs over 100 pounds. But boy, these guys fly. But anyway, I promised that we'd do the North Korea thing. And just to think about this, how can that little rogue nation, I said it earlier, with no lights, if you look at North Korea at night, which I have every day, that's what I go outside and I look at North Korea at night. But if you look at North Korea from one of those fake satellites, or they maybe, I don't know how they take, I guess they can go up with a balloon, take a picture, or an airplane, or Google does it. They don't use a satellite. They figured it out. So they looked at North Korea, and if you look at it, the only place there's lights is in the capital city of Pyongyang, or however they pronounce it. And I found it to be interesting with a backward country like that. How can they get all this military arsenal, the largest army in the world, unless they had some Jesuit backing here? And by Jesuit backing, I mean that's pretty hefty, because they go all over the world and they can infiltrate most any country or religion in the world. So they're using North Korea like they used rogue countries in the past to start the powder keg of war. And, you know, we got our military at heightened alert. Just wait. It's coming. And that's why I want to get this religion contest in, because you may need a new religion after this conflict. Just kidding. But the Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, I wonder how they came up with that. Could they have used the first initial of every word? You know, I'm tired of those acronyms. I really am. You ever hear of these people? They start off with an agency that has 20, you know, the Congregational of the Doctrinal Initiate to the Fish Society of the American Lung Capacity Group. And then they go, and that's IGCTG-TVQYS. Stop it with those things. It's bad enough you gotta use USA. Just call them United States of America. Why are you in such a hurry, America? You gotta shorten everything? Well, the Korean News Agency, which is the official state-controlled mouthpiece of North Korea, has announced the country will now strike at any moment. Okay, let's put a bet on it here. I'm going to bet you $1,000 to a dime they don't strike within the next moment. And they won't even strike during my show in the next half hour. So quit lying to me. The official news agency statement, clouded with delusions of self-defense, makes clear their intention to attack in a way which is beyond, and then quotes, imagination. Oh yeah? Hey, listen, fella. Don't try to do that to me, because I got quite an imagination. And I bet you I can think of something that's worse than they're going to do. So don't start saying it's beyond my imagination. It might be beyond some people's that have no imagination. Do you know any people that don't have an imagination? I mean, are you born? I've never heard of being one of our senses. You know, I got hearing, I got smelling, and I really don't have smelling. I'm one of these people that, I guess it's because I grew up in a barn of cows, but I can't smell much. I can smell a little gasoline every now and then. But the normal things people smell that they get repulsed at, it goes over my head, you know. And there's a symptom. Yeah, I looked it up. People that can't smell, there's some disease. It's not a disease, it's a abnormality. But I don't have a great sense of smell, so they tell me I don't taste food as well, but I really do. I really do. I taste food. So I got smell, I got hearing, I got sight, I got speech, I got all the senses I need. But how come they don't put imagination in there as one of the most important? You gotta have an imagination. But I know so many people that lack that. That's why they said Korea can do something beyond imagination, because most people don't have an imagination anymore. Too busy working all day, doing their, I hate these lawyers. I have a law degree, but, they act so goddamn smart, but they're really stupid people, most of them. I dealt with many, a couple from Harvard. They know nothing but they got like, you ever see a horse with blinders on? Blinkers, I mean? That's what these guys are. They just see right ahead of them, I can give you the law of contracts, but I can't tell you the reason for living, or even that the Jesuits are controlling they can't be controlling the world. For verification purposes, there's a link to this Korean station that you can find online that'll give that direct translation. But that's what they said. Where it's beyond imagination, they're going to really give it to us here. Now, 30-plus missiles deployed. Okay, this is what they're telling us. North Korea has already deployed at least 30 missiles with intercontinental range. Now, about 6 months ago, they didn't have any. Several of those missiles are clearly fitted with nose cones, which could contain a nuclear warhead. But worse, quite a number of others are fitted with chemical, biological aerosol nose cones. We're dealing here with something that's very dangerous. Aerosol nose cones. Just a second. It's making me want to sneeze. It really is. Okay. See if I can get through this without sneezing. I don't have a sneeze button like these rich stations do. When they cough, they hit the cough button. I worked on stations like that. I used to work on big stations. Okay. It's giving me, just the thought of this aerosol nose cone is giving me the sniffles. Quiet discussions in Washington and Beijing are wondering if North Korea is contemplating actual suicide, going out in a blaze of glory. They know. You think Washington and Beijing aren't in on this? It's an inside job, folks. In fact, just today, London's Sun newspaper is running a story about how North Korea is now mass-producing biological weapons. No wonder they're building the bunkers for the rich all over the world. And, I got to get my card to get into one of those bunkers. I'm already buying up let me tell you a little story. This is what I'm doing. I did this a while back. There's a shop in Hollywood I used to go to a long time ago. A woman came up with a great idea. She decided to start a secondhand clothing store. Now, that doesn't sound rather unique, but this one was. And what she did, now, whether she was for real or not, because I shopped there, either she was a great con artist or she actually did this. And I vowed to find out because I bought a piece of clothing from her. But it was a little shop I ran into in Sherman Oaks one day while I was just out walking around with my head in the clouds. And I decided, I saw this shop, secondhand clothes for the stars. So I went in there. And she was producing stuff I couldn't believe, sweaters that Nick Nolte wore, an actual jacket of Barbara Streisand. There were dresses in there. There were shoes, hats, you name it, underwear. No, I didn't see any underwear. I wasn't going to wear Yul Brynner's underwear ever. But anyway, I wouldn't even buy Anthony Quinn's t-shirt. So I ended up buying a couple things. And it was a shirt apparently worn by my favorite actor, Al Pacino. And how could I figure it was his shirt? Now, it wasn't a collared shirt. It was kind of like a big, it was a neat, cool shirt. It didn't have a collar. And it was something that Pacino would wear. So I said I bought it. I paid $12 for it. Probably a $2 t-shirt or something. So I vowed to find out whether Al Pacino whether this woman was conning me, because I did buy a few other things there. I bought a couple leather jackets, supposedly by some rock star. I don't know. I was hooked on this place. I loved it. I bought shoes from, I figured the stardom would wear off. I was starstruck. But anyway, so I go in and I'm checking out the things I get, and I'm checking out every picture of Al Pacino. And lo and behold, I found a picture of him with that T-shirt. Or one that was so similar, I said, it's got to be it. So I made a big picture of it. And I blew it up and I put it next to mine. And I swear to God it was that T-shirt. So I went back to her and I said, you know something? I was thinking that maybe you were a fraud. Because it's pretty easy to say you bought all this stuff. And then, you got all this stuff. And then you just said, oh, this is Barbara Streisand's. This is whatever. This is Cher's, this is stuff like that. And she says, oh, no, really. Not all the stuff. I always tag the stuff that's from the stars, but that was my idea. I go up to Beverly Hills, I go to all these places, and the word got around. And the stars would actually leave their clothes out for me that they didn't want. And I said, oh, wow, that was a profit-making company. Why didn't I think of that? And she said, oh, yeah, we've done pretty well over the years, These people, they don't need they buy so many clothes, they just give them away. So I just thought that people would enjoy walking around with some of the clothes that they wore. And I said, I really enjoyed it. So there. How's that for a story? Now, I forgot. Now, see, my purpose of telling that story was to get you to stop thinking about North Korea and blowing us up. Didn't I do that for a while? You're so intrigued in that story. And I wonder if that Sherman Oaks place is still there. Next time I'm in there, in that area, I'm going to go by. It was a while back. All right, so back to the real junk here that we're talking about. But in fact, just today's London, we're in the Sun newspaper, is writing a story about how North Korea is massing biological weapons. Now, they say it's a critical and imminent threat. Japan's defense minister reportedly said Monday that the threat from North Korea is both unprecedented and imminent. Imminent. I like that word for some reason. And now, if I can say this word correctly, I will be very happy that I accomplished something today. Itsunori Onodera. I don't think I did it, but that's pushed up some guy from Japan, I guess, for different responses as he spoke with Defense Secretary James Mattis and South Korean Defense Minister Sung Young-moo. Boy, these people, they have strange names, don't they? How would you like to be Miss Moo? Hey, Miss Young-moo. If you said that to a woman now, you get accused of sexual harassment. It's just a name. The Associated Press reported. Onodero's comments came during discussions in the Philippines. The country has steadfastly improved its nuclear and missile capabilities, Onodero said. The threat posed by North Korea has grown to the unprecedented critical and imminent level, he added. The meeting between the officials comes ahead of President Trump's trip to the region next month. Oh, that should be cute. The bull in the china shop's going to the most sensitive part of the world. And I'm sure he's about to say a few things that if the crazy Korean dictator there hasn't decided to lob a nuclear or biological weapon, when Trump is there, he'll definitely do it. Trump will say something like, that little fat kid thinks he can control me. I'm 72 years old. I've been around this planet for a while. Okay. North Korea's actual capabilities. You must be afraid, this article says. Be very afraid. Oh, I'm really afraid, yeah. What the hell can I do about it? We in the United States are in grave danger from North Korea. I cannot emphasize this enough. Based upon already demonstrated capabilities, they can literally make good on every one of their threats. It is a matter of life or death that you have these facts. Okay. What are the facts? I want to see these. Because he said it's life or death, so if I don't see them, I'm going to die. Or it's not clear, will I live if I don't see them? And will I die if I read them? That's the choice that I have at this moment. So I'm going to have to make a very careful decision here. If I read them, will I live or die? I have a feeling if I read them, I'll live. Okay, here we go. Let's see, I want to get these right. With all the trash talk taking place regarding North Korea, This gentleman wanted to cut through the nonsense and get to the real scoop. He spoke to over a dozen of my former colleagues in the FBI, CIA, NSA, and Department of Defense. Below is the no-nonsense analysis based upon verified and publicized information. How come I have not seen this before? These people were supposed to notify me as soon as they came out, and they didn't. That's my government not working at its best interest. You're supposed to notify the citizenry of this. In December 2009, Assistant Special Agent in Charge Amy Pickett, who was then the third highest ranking person in the FBI New York Division, testified about under oath in Brooklyn Federal Court. Pickett told the court that people like me handled national security, terrorism, and informed counterintelligence. Think about that for a minute. Okay, so he's talking himself up. I want to know what Korea has. Here's the analysis with evidence of what we face from North Korea. It's beyond dangerous. A madman is on the loose with nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons. Which one is that? Trump or the Korean guy? He's repeatedly threatening to use them on us. He hasn't threatened me. Like I said, I tell you, that aerosol can is driving me crazy. Boy, ever since I read that about this, that North Korea has a nose cone with aerosol spray, biological stuff, and I've been sneezing. Did they release it? Huh. Here's the evidence. Okay, here are the facts. When you're finished reading this, you will, based on this evidence, that we have no choice but to take immediate action to blow the hell out of them. That's what they're really saying. Okay. The bomb, Kim Jong-un's uninspected nuke. The bomb is a 122-point implosion system based on a dodecahedron 12. I don't know what that means. Each side in a dodecahedron is a pentagon. Oh, here they go with the occult crap. Never fails. With each pentagon is a circle surrounded by 5 circles. Surrounded these 6 circles is a half circle at each edge. Who cares? And is this some kind of Illuminati trick? The entire bomb has 122 circles. Oh boy. The more explosive lenses you have, the more efficient the compression, and the smaller the thickness. How come these guys are so smart? They don't even have lights in their country, but they can do this? They gotta have help from a German scientist, a Nazi that the Jesuits had used, or somebody. And somebody had to give them all this stuff. Okay, this means the bomb is smaller and you can use fissile material. I hope it's not what I'm thinking that sounds like. Fat Man Nagasaki had a 32-point implosion system. What's Fat Man soccer ball, just 12 pentagons, 20 hexagons, and 60 vertical corners. And subsequent designs improved on this by using 92-point implosion system. Do I got to know all this? Just tell me how many people it's going to kill. North Korea is, as far as I know, the only country to have used more than 92 lenses in a bomb. 122 is in this case. Now, how can they do this, and we're supposed to be the greatest military in the world, but this little country that doesn't even have lights is doing this? This is an orchestrated war they're creating, folks. And guess what? You're going to be the audience watching the orchestration. And it ain't, it ain't going to be going like to the Hollywood Bowl and listening to the symphony. Soon after developing the 92-point implosion, I'm tired of the implosion systems. North Korea first began work on a nuclear bomb in 1989. The U.S. presented North Korea with evidence of their secret uranium enrichment back in 2002. Well, they've been giving them time to get it going. North Korea is the only country conducting nuclear tests. We haven't conducted a nuclear test since 1992. We don't even know if they work. And they don't want them to work because they want to blow the hell out of America. The only ICBM used in the United States, the Minuteman III, was produced in 1970. Hey, buddy, 1970 was a good year. And it had 1960s technology. That was a great time. What's this guy talking about? It's probably filled with marijuana hash. Peace, brother. When that Minuteman III hits North Korea, all these things will fly out and they'll go, peace, love, and they'll all get high. That's good technology. these missiles are launched with software contained on the old large 8-inch floppy disks. Those were pretty good too. They worked for me. North Korea's missiles and nuclear warheads are designed with the state-of-the-art materials and computer components. Now, I wonder how they got them. Oh, do you think the Jesuits and our own government and the Putin and the communist Chinese and all these people working with the Vatican didn't give it to them to create the war? No, they just... A country without lights that has embargoes coming out the yin-yang gets all this stuff. And they have the smartest nuclear physicists there. Something is, completely wrong in this world. It goes on and on. This guy goes through, after I'm done with this, I'm going to be able to build my own nuclear weapon and destroy North Korea myself. How about that? This image shows the probable electronics. What's this guy? Giving you the, here's how to build a nuclear warhead. Just get a lot of these pentagons and do 122 circles. That means the neutrons produced by, I can't follow this. He's just, oh boy. Right under this, there was the most hysterical windshield. You know how people leave notes on your windshield? It says, thank you so much for taking time to move our trash cans to let you park. We really appreciate it. It's not like we have a big blue truck to park in front of our house or anything. Once again, thanks so much for, I don't even know. I just read it to forget about North Korea. We only got 30 seconds to go, folks. Tomorrow's Saturday. I'll get out my new religion, the greatest religions, create a great religion contest on the website tomorrow. You be a part of it. And don't forget to go to Greg Anthony's journal at wordpress.com and donate, as much as you can to keep this crazy show on the air, okay? And we'll be back. And I'll tell you, I swear next week we're going to talk about some really important things as we usually do and mix it in with a little humor and fun. So have a good weekend. See you next week on the Investigative Journal.
The book of Revelation says, the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app for all of your mobile devices, streaming First Amendment Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone, absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today so you can listen to First Amendment Radio wherever you are. The Prophecy.
Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host Melody Cedarstrom right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free 1-800-375-4188.